I'm going to tell you a secret today. And it's a very, very important secret. It's the one thing that can slice through all negative thoughts, that can let all negative thoughts, all negative emotions lose their power over you. And it's the one action, the only action you can take on the spiritual path that will free you for always. And this sounds too good to be true. And maybe it is too good to be true. But let's dive into it. What is this one thing? What is this one thing? Let me tell you a story about myself, how I discovered this. So, I was at home. I used to have a lot of panic attacks, a lot of anxiety, and especially when I smoked weed. So, this one time I was alone. I smoked some weed, and I got anxiety. I got thoughts, negative thoughts, where it was like, there's something wrong with you. There's a feeling here in your throat and you're going to die, you're going to pass out. There's something wrong going to happen. And maybe you can relate to those type of thoughts. Very negative, very in my head. I couldn't get rid of it. And I was like, fuck. I was like completely building up towards a panic attack. You know how it goes. Like the thought comes, boom, and it spirals, and your breathing gets high and you're like fucking stressed. And I was like, fuck. And I had no idea what I could do about it. So I went to the yoga attic. Like my mom has like a yoga room on the most highest floor of our house. And I went there and I sit on the meditation pillow. And I felt this insane anxiety and I felt so small, so anxious. And then I asked God, or I asked like, what can I do right now? What is one thing what I can do right now? What is one truth I need to see right now? And that one truth that let me embrace the fear and immediately it lost all the power over me was self-love. On the moment you feel intense anxiety, you feel intense depression or something, intense negative thoughts, and you feel complete self-love towards yourself in this moment, self-compassion, where you're like, you're giving yourself a hug, where it's like, okay, it is good, you're good enough, it is good like this. Then the negative thoughts and the negative things are losing their power immediately, because negative thoughts are built on something that is wrong with this moment. But if you love yourself completely and have self-compassion completely in this moment, you give yourself space to feel, to think, and to realize that there's nothing wrong with you. This self-love goes beyond good and bad, beyond judgment about what you're feeling, because you even embrace and you love the judgment. You love everything that comes up, regardless of the content of the mind. So let's say you feel intense anxiety, you love the anxiety. Then the thought comes up, oh, this doesn't work. You embrace this thought, you love this thought. You love yourself while you have this thought. It's not wrong. The only thing that is wrong is that you think that it's wrong. And that's not even wrong, ultimately. That's just a shitty experience, and that's what we could call wrong. So if you think there's something wrong with you, or you think you have this anxiety, or there's something fucked up going on, if you love yourself in that moment, that can give you space to feel it, space to relax, space to let go, space to feel safe. And this is the only action, the only thing that will directly help us. And one thing that's very important that we need to be aware of in this, which I struggled with for a long time, is this self-love is not something we have to do. So I discovered this I discovered love, basically. It's not really a trick, right? Because it's just love. You know why all the songs in the world are about love. Like, when you really go into it, you realize it. And it's not about love to a partner, it's about love for all. For everything inside yourself and outside yourself. But we are drifting off the subject. There's one thing that is very dangerous here, and that can be that the mind comes in and that it tricks you again in thinking that self-love doesn't work, because it uses self-love as a technique to get rid of what you are feeling. I'll say it again. So you know self-love and you felt that it worked. And then your mind makes self-love into a concept, into a technique you can use to change and get rid of what you're feeling. But if you want to change and get rid of what you're feeling, that's not love. That's resistance. So loving is loving. Self-love is not a technique you can use to get rid of something, because that's what the mind wants to do. It wants to make everything into a technique to change how you're feeling. While self-love and self-compassion is an acceptance of what you're feeling. And once you go into that, the emotions can flow. It can be intense and everything, and it can be heavy, and maybe you start shaking, and maybe you start crying, and maybe you get angry, and maybe all type of realizations came up that you've never really felt love towards yourself in your life. And of course that's fucking heavy shit. But the only thing you can do is embrace it with love, let yourself feel it, and the transformation that comes out of there is just insane. The biggest transformation you can go through. And if you are really growing in your self-love and growing in your love towards yourself and towards others, not even towards others, towards yourself, because only then you can express it towards others. That's the biggest transformation you can go through as a person. It will put you on your purpose. It will connect you with the people you're supposed to connect with, and it will just make your life and your negative thoughts and your negative emotions so much less serious and so much less problematic, because you love through everything that comes up. So I'll encourage you to, when you feel like shit, to embrace it with self-love. And also when there's a thought that comes up, oh fuck, this self-love technique doesn't work, also embrace that with self-love, because the mind can be tricky. Guys, that was it for today's short video, but a good intense message. I hope you can learn something from this, and if you enjoyed this, support the channel, I would say. See you guys later.